through this process of alignment is actually to starting to see what are the messages your home is delivered to you. That this is where the spiritual lesson comes through. This is through you see what other people don't see. And this is entirely what we talked about in period 9. It's not all about physical. It's about these unseen things that you notice. You connect with your home speaking to you.
Hi, loves. Welcome back to the podcast. Today's episode truly changed my life, and I just don't say that lightly. Since I had my interview with today's guest, I started to do one of the little rituals that she recommended, which is opening up your windows and doors first thing in the morning to let the Qi flow in. Qi is the life force energy, and it's wild how something so simple has brought so much clarity and flow into the space. And this is just the beginning. So if you're ever feeling stuck or off, or like your environment is just not supporting your growth, this one is for you. Something that really also blew my mind was how our homes have lessons to teach us if we tune in to this conscious entity. And it just made me think so much about like this home that I live in currently right now. It's not my ideal dream home, but it has been a home that I absolutely love, learned to love, because when I first got here, honestly, I was not loving the house at all because it just needed so much work. But I have also realized how many lessons it has taught me that otherwise I wouldn't have learned without being in this exact house. And so I see it so much more differently, and opening up the windows in the morning and the doors and just letting the Qi flow in, even though it's so humid out here in Texas, just having that fresh energy inside of my home. We have been so like peaceful. The environment feels calm and peaceful and light and airy and divine, and just like I really have fallen in love with homemaking and taking care of the house and just beautifying this house and making it the most beautiful house on the block when it's the ugliest house on the block. I'm sorry, house, but you will be beautiful, right? Or it is beautiful. I'm sorry. You are beautiful, house. Okay, anyways. So today I'm sitting down with someone so incredible and so inspiring. She was actually my teacher at the Institute of Integrative Nutrition, and I just loved Feng Shui ever since she taught that course. And I was like, I would love to have her on the podcast. So we made it happen, and she's here. And I just want to let you guys know a little bit about her before we jump right into the episode. This is a super juicy one. You guys are going to love what she has to say, because this is like, it blew my mind. So Grace is the incredible Feng Shui master behind Feng Shui Serenity. She actually walked away from a 15-year career in media to follow her inner calling, and has since become a transformative mentor, intuitive guide, and spiritual teacher. She actually helps people activate abundance, clarity, and alignment through their physical space. So if you're ready to clear out stuck energy, call in a new version of yourself, and create a true heaven on earth, this conversation will show you how. So let's dive in. Welcome to the DulceCandy podcast. I am DulceCandy, a certified health coach, meditation and yoga teacher, content creator, and war veteran. This is a sacred space for Latinas and all women ready to heal, grow, and reconnect with their true essence. Here, we slow down, breathe deeply, and have real, honest conversations about life, spirituality, wellness, healing, and the beautiful, messy moments in between. Through guided meditations, heartfelt chats with inspiring mujeres, we'll nurture the mind, body, and soul. So grab your cafecito or cacao, open your corazón, and let's dive in. I would love if you can begin sharing a little bit about who you are and the work that you do.
I started my business, Feng Shui Serenity, probably about back in 2015, so now 10 years, pretty much, yeah, a decade. And that was such a big leap. this is where now I'm a accredited international feng shui master. But most beyond this, like titles, I really think it's the journey. It's for me, it's about that joy and passion of sharing with people about the energy, about the unseen energy, especially when we're actually moving into the feng shui period 9. And this is actually similar like that. Sort of profound energy shift as in Aquarian age. This is quite a big milestone in feng shui world because it only happens every 20 years. So the energy is very potent. That literally started from 2024 last year. So year of the dragon. And we are in year of the snake this year, right at this moment. So I think it's that helping people to see the importance of the unseen and how that transform, how that is connected with our physical world, and how that is so intricately connected with our daily life, our health, our creating money and wealth, and having a harmonious relationship, feeling this your home is supporting you rather than feeling depleted. So this is where I believe that beyond all the masters, the practice, it's really about connecting as a humanity, connecting with our external environment because we are part of the universe.
Wow, connecting with the unseen. I think that's so beautiful and profound because I feel like it gives life more meaning and it makes it more magical also, right? Not so mundane
So true. I think this is probably one of the more profound shift comparing this new era, the 20 years of feng shui age 9, comparing to the last 20 years, because everything is so physical. From the feng shui perspective or from the 5 elements perspective, because last 20 years was pretty much governed by the earth energy. So everything is so grounded. Earth is about the physical, right? And property has really increased. A lot of people sort of creating their wealth through property. So, we're going through this material peak, like, everyone seeing that. And then our lifestyle, the entire, I guess, on earth giving us that beautiful lifestyle, which is wonderful. This is evolution of humanity, right? But we're reaching such a peak. This is where the yin and yang, when you reach to the maximum of the yang, there is certain time that is going to actually slowly, this is always a never-ending cycle of yin and yang, right? So we are now moving really into this physical, more towards the non-physical, the formless, the energy. This kind of era that is going to become so important for us to understand. And this is where, if a lot of people, like our daily life and creating wealth and money, creating a really profitable, sustainable business, and this is where you're going to shift your focus from before the concrete physical things we can see, we can touch, to something that is really we can't really see, but we know it's there. This is going to become so important for us to create that prosperity, abundance, and feeling so effortless, moving forward, whatever you desire in life. And this will become the what I call the energy medicine age. And I didn't sort of explain Feng Shui age 9 is governed, unlike Feng Shui age 8, last 20 years, this current 20 years is governed by the energy of fire. So what does that mean? The fire energy is really symbolized as seed of consciousness. So spirituality, energy, anything to do with a higher force and higher realm, will slowly, we realize it's part of, like, more and more people basically wanting to connect with that. And that's where you mentioned this magical, apart from the arising from this daily mundane, but we're starting to realize there is the external force that is so benevolent, not against us. It's actually, everything we do, if we can co-create with that universal energy. And Feng Shui is part of the way of seeing this unseen and bring that into a physical form, like how we can and do something with the aligned action. We'll be able to utilize that so powerful unseen energy from the universe.
Yes, I was just going to ask you if you can define Feng Shui for someone who has never heard of it. Can you talk a little bit about what it is and how we can start to? I'm sure it's such a vast response to this, but if you can, just break it down for us a little, please.
I think Feng Shui is a Chinese word, and Feng means the wind, and Shui means water. So wind and water. And you will notice this is everything about Feng Shui is to coming back to nature, the wind and the water. It's already pictured this kind of beautiful form in the nature. So everything about Feng Shui is how, as human, we can live by the universal law that never fails, how nature intended, to live. Because there is, we're talking about this global warming, we're talking about a lot of current environment, external, what is happening in the world we're experiencing, is we, to a certain extent, that as the human race, that we have developed in a lot of areas in terms of technology and all that, very advanced to support our lifestyle. But at the same time, we forget that we also part of nature. And this is not who is above whom, is because we are the entire universe, and I mentioned. So it's really about that respect of the nature and the universal law, just like the universal law, like a gravity, like the sun will always rise from the east and set from the west. These other things will never change. And in terms of, this is where the yin and yang, the seasons, each season provide us that lesson. And I think that because of this heightened, there's a lot of kind of societal or cultural or traditional these patterns we've been holding onto. When we come back to nature, all the stress, all the frustration, all this kind of exhaustion would dissipate and dissolve. And I'm sorry, I've sort of diverse from what is Feng Shui, but Feng Shui essentially is coming back to live in the way that nature intended. Wow. And we look at Qi. The Qi means energy. And as we talked about, the wind is moving the Qi. Water always represents abundance, auspicious in Feng Shui language. So as you see, all these derived from nature. And this is where whenever I do a session with Feng Shui or the Destiny Mentor, which is looking at the 5 element, looking at your birth chart, I always ask my clients to picture, to even close your eyes, switch off your left-hand side brain, our logical side of brain, which we probably 96% of using the left-hand side brain. Just to close your eyes and see the picture of you, of nature. Because each of us, when we're talking about the 5 elements, and obviously 5 elements is an important part of Feng Shui, and how we manipulate, how we redirect Qi and using that 5 element, it's all coming from nature. So the 5 elements are wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. So these are some, just not all of Feng Shui, but something top of mind I think that your listeners will be interested to know.
Let's talk about some daily rituals or practices that can really help keep our energies home in flow and in alignment.
That's a big question. Because I think that it does take a little, I guess, the conscious, really conscious daily decision. And I love the saying of, that this small act, small yet consistent act that can create this really powerful and profound change. And in Chinese, there is actually a saying, which is also the new name of my podcast called Dripping Water Pierce the Stone. And so this is where it just so interesting that it came to me in period nine because period nine's energy can be so fickle, can be so intense, which is very much the fire energy, right? And that's your question. So I think most of us feel that our external environment sometimes can feel a lot unstable, particularly in Year of the Snake. And I think we all feel it with the war around us, with the economy sometimes can also feel up and down. So how can we sort of, and all this background can be really become so intensified and affecting our decision making, affecting our nervous system. So I think that daily, like, small aligned action that is so accessible, that if we do consistently, it really be able to, like the dripping water, pierce the stone. It's that perseverance and, it's that profound effect. And most important thing is like, it's so easy for you to do that you do it. If I'm giving this massive mammoth task, and then most people think, oh my God, that's such a huge step. And this is where I guess, being human, that we aspire so much. And then when it comes to action, when it is just to feel so far from your reality, we love to do it, but maybe we do a couple of days and then we just dropped it. So one thing that I think that I always say to my client is Feng Shui is all about the qi flow. So it's qi means energy, means prana, means life force, right? So this is so important in our home. We can't control the world. We can't stop the war. We can't do this. We can't change the economy. We can't, there's a lot of things out of our control, but what we can control is our small universe. It's our home, which is our external environment that is literally like our second skin. And this is where that is so intimate that your home's energy can interact with your energy because we are all energetic being. And this is where I think that making sure that chi flow, that your home receives this life force is daily, is so important. So I call this is a ritual, like, and it's so easy to do. And ritual is literally the daily or the discipline done brilliantly. That's what the ritual is, right? And that daily ritual, I think that I probably has been doing it for years unknowingly, but then I understand that is feng shui. That is how I'm keeping the qi is flowing, keeping that connection between me, my home, and the outer bigger world, the universal qi, fully connected and aligned. That's what I call waking up the house. So what we do in the morning, and before actually I share that, the actual steps is very simple. But when you actually starting to understand the reason behind the energy behind your action, it just makes the whole ritual a much more, you tend to really wanting to do it as well. So the energy behind this ritual is really about you starting to see your home beyond just four walls, just beyond the roof, beyond the this physical place you inhabit. Your home, as I mentioned, is actually your second skin, is part of you, is the extension of you. And sometimes your home is the outer reflection of who you truly are, what your inside within you that you are not consciously seeing. And your home is reflecting back to you. Does
Wow.
that make sense?
That is so true. So you can really tell a lot about a person by the look of their home, the exterior of it,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes. A cluttered home reflects a cluttered mind.
Yes.
This is very much like, and we will arrive at the ritual, which would be, but before this, I think this is actually really important to understand. So, because of this deeper meaning of your home, I feel that I always teach my clients through the my signature service, Feng Shui alignment, to align through this process of alignment is actually to starting to see what are the messages your home is delivered to you, right?
Oh,
That this is where the spiritual lesson comes through. This is through you see what other people don't see. And this is entirely what we talked about in period 9. It's not all about physical. It's about these unseen things that you notice. You connect with your home speaking to you. So I always see my home as a living and breathing being, an entity that is communicating with me. So I do not see this as just a still four walls and brick and mortar. This is a living and breathing thing, just like us. Think of
mm,
that. So when you're starting to feel that, you take care of this being that is taking care of you, right? So when you're starting to taking care of your home will in turn starting to really nourishing you. This is where the sanctuary comes from. This is where how you turn a house into a home. This is where the energy resonance starting to display and to play a role of your own evolution.
oh, so beautiful. I recently moved from Los Angeles to Texas, and we had to sell our house because we were going through a difficult time financially.
Mm,
And the home that I call her Sarah because she was on Sarah Street. And when we sold that house saved us, you
mm,
know? So I'm always like, thank you, Sarah. Like, I'm so grateful to Sarah because she saved us, from bankruptcy and from so many different things. And throughout the years, I would always look at her and treat her like a living entity, take care of every little corner and dust anything that's dark or, bring more light into it. And it was so hard to say goodbye the last time that I saw her, because she supported and held us as a family. And it's a temple, it's where we heal, where we laugh, where we connect, where we thrive, we learn. Everything happens under our home.
mm,
And
sure.
yeah.
That's so beautiful. I love you give your home a name. And that really, I mean, for some your listeners, and then if that makes them feel more connected with their home, give them a name. Like, and one of my clients, she intuitively just feel this house before she purchased, she came to me. And then she just felt the house is calling her. It feels, it's a she. She didn't give it a name, but she feels it's a she. So it's so interesting that when we turn on turn on that switch, right? That to be connecting with your home deeply, and you are going to be so surprised how much you're gonna receive um, in return. And this is where I believe it is a channel. It's the portal. I feel personally on my spiritual awakening journey, every single home is a portal for me to download certain lessons.
Mhm.
And I trust every home came into my realm is here to teach me certain lessons. And it's so interesting. Sometimes, we have this human attachment. We love this, but intuitively, we also know the journey ends here. The house will say, well, it's time for you to move on. And this is where we move. And it's so amazing that many of my clients who have lived in certain house has been dealt certain challenges. And at the end of the day, as soon as they realize they downloaded the lesson, time for them to move. And they're moving into a much higher frequency, more elevated, yet they still feel so grateful for the house. And this is, because the house really, in a way, is sending them to that next phase in their life. So yeah, it's quite amazing. A lot of stories. Sorry,
It,
shall we actually? Sorry, you were gonna say something. I was gonna come back to the ritual.
no, it's okay. I was just gonna say how like you said that every house has lessons, right? You download lessons.
Mm,
When I moved from Los Angeles to Texas, as much as I loved that house, it didn't feel like it was in alignment for me anymore.
yes.
But it supported my journey in when it needed it to be.
Yeah. 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 And the same as my very first house, my husband and I bought after we got married, and we lived in there for 6 years. That was actually a really challenging 6 years, um, on all levels, health and career, relationships, that house. And now when I look back, I understand that was before I know anything about Feng Shui. So obviously the Feng Shui was all wrong. But now when I am looking back, if it is not because of that house, I would not have actually fall into the path of where I am now or become who I am right now. And I felt still so very grateful, even it was challenging times, but I would not be coming back to this destiny. And I know this work is I'm supposed to be doing at this time. So I just intuitively know. So it's like the I was so far apart from the path I was supposed to be on, and the house I have to through these challenges on my path so that I can resume back to where I was supposed to be.
Yes, yeah.
It's
I mean,
it's an interesting paradox in a way.
it's very interesting, and again, it speaks to the unseen realm, right? There's something else going on, and
Yeah.
when you have the knowledge to explain it,
Mm.
it's empowering,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, yes. And now I'm like because of I know this, like you can just really dig this golden nuggets from the environment you live in, right? So I follow all the little clues now. I follow the little clues showing up in my destiny chart because I know that is my chart is my cosmic blueprint. It's the moment I was born. That's my soul's path. That's the purpose that I came to the earth, reincarnate for this lifetime. So I follow those little clues. They're very subtle, very little clues, and they're not all revealed to you all at once. But that's the fun, isn't it? Like if you
Mhm.
know everything else, what's the point of living? What's the point of exploring this fantastic, amazing life on Earth?
Exactly. Can you talk about the daily rituals now that we can?
Yes, yes, I'm so sorry. So the
No,
daily
no.
rituals, now you know because of this is your home is a living and breathing entity, you're going to take care of this person, this your companion, your soul companion, the person who will deliver something, who look after your blind spot, literally. So in the morning, it's that your house is like you. During the day, daytime, this is a yang energy. So yang versus yin energy. At night is yin energy. So we want to keep the qi during the day as yang and transition into, as after sunset, we transition your home into a yin energy, which is peaceful, grounding, containing. Yang energy is more expressive. Um, Brings you vitality, gives you energy, gives you that conviction to step out of your comfort zone and step into the limelight, do whatever really, that your authentic self asks you to do. So what we do is it's so simple. So you open the doors and windows in the morning as you get up, as you're making your bed, open your bedroom's window, and you may also want to turn on a soft, whatever the music. You can be very young, any kind of music you feel brings the young energy that put it on. And I always like a very gentle morning, like, gentle, soft, yet inspiring type of music. And sometimes also put on incense as well, but you don't always have to. It's probably, once a week or however you feel. If your home a little bit depleted, you can light up incense as well in the morning. And this is open your curtains, bring all the sunshine into the house. And you will know that when Chinese looking for homes, the first thing they look at is, does this house receive the sunlight? Because sunlight is the yang energy, not yin energy. Yang energy means the vibrancy, the vibrant life force coming in. So as a human, we like flowers, we like plants, that we need to have the sunshine. So the sun is so important to coming into your home. And that for some client, if I goes into their home, I immediately can just feel the energy feels a little bit dull. I know that this home probably has not opened doors and windows for a few days. So you will feel that energy is a bit stagnant. Because when the chi is feeling stagnant and still, they're not great for our health and they're not good for our mental health. And in period 9, that mental health is most important because it's to do with the nervous system, it's to do with our spirit. Our spirit needs to be joyful, need to be optimistic, right? And this is really important, especially in period 9. So waking up the house is to bring that activity slowly into the house, so your house also waking up. And this is also, as I mentioned at the start, according to the universal law. So sunrise, we rise, the house waking up, and the sunset, we're going to close the curtain. You close your window, and this contains the qi. The qi is going to be nourishing to support us through the restful night of sleep. Yeah.
Wow, containing the chi. It's so interesting because when I go on vacation and the house is completely empty for a few days, when I come back, it feels stagnant.
Yeah.
It feels dense too.
Fail, right?
Dale, yeah. And I'm like, you can tell people have not been in this house.
Yes.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
find that really interesting. And now that you said that, it makes sense.
Mm.
Yeah.
Such a simple ritual, but you don't have to actually keep it really long. In 15 minutes is sufficient. But of course, when we're going through meticulous feng shui alignment process, we're looking at even closer of what are the specific chi point in your home that is aligned to bring in you the opportunity, the nobleman, the money and wealth, because not all points in the home is drawing the right energy. But I guess for if you listeners are new feng shui beginners, and this is a beautiful first step to making sure there is a circulation of the qi movement in the house, always refreshed. So this breathing and living entity with you and with this intimate companion is always receiving this life force from the universe.
Wow, such a powerful and simple ritual that we can do.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
I also wanted to talk about the shape of our homes
Mhm.
because now that I'm house hunting, I'm looking at a lot of different homes, and some of them have dome shapes, some of them have, they're not like a square, they're not symmetrical.
Yeah,
Can you talk a little bit about the importance of, the shape
absolutely.
of a home and the location and the environment of a home?
Let's talk about the form. Let's talk about the shape first. So within feng shui, we look at the form, and then we also look at from the compass perspective, we will look at the different sectors. Within a home, ideally, that we would like to have 8 sectors, including the center, so 9 sectors altogether is whole. So that provides us the wholeness within this home. So when it comes to the shape, the best shape is the rectangular home, or a little bit square is okay as well. Yeah, because rectangular gives you this, what we call the 4 point of gold. So the 4 point of gold is represents that integrity. When you
Mhm.
have this 4 point of gold on the ground, your home is stable, your home has integrity. So this will in nourishing the occupant to have integrity in life, to provide the stability to the occupants in who lives in this house as well. So imagine that we were seeing some of the shape was L shape, L shape, and then you have a certain parts is very obvious missing. That means that that point you might only have 3 points, right? So it's not as stable. Think of the shape, you're putting it on the ground. That is not stable. And the irregular shape probably is the worst. Some of the building, some of the architect is having their moment of inspiration, which we, as a feng shui master, we actually really, don't support this really odd shape of the maybe for a public place, like a dome or a round, like a completely oval or round shape. It's good for other things, for stadium, for whatever, but it is not that great for home because you don't have a parallel wall. For one, it's going to be so difficult to place furniture even. Think
Mhm.
of that curved wall. And I recently have this client who had a very irregular shape. So as you're walking into her house, and the back of the home, instead of being parallel with the front, the wall suddenly change into this direction. So, which means their boys have to live in the bedroom has like a four, not instead of four wall, they have different angle and cut corners and paralleled walls. So guess what happens after 5 years? They lived in that house for 5 or 6 years. So they have so first of all, the lady has of OCD, and also autoimmune issues. Their two boys have recently been diagnosed with behavioral issues as well as ADHD. And obviously, the husband is also feeling a bit temperamental. So this can really place strain on our nervous system. Because if you go into a home, the wall is not even parallel, and then you get disoriented. When I was looking at that floor plan, I literally feeling dizzy. This is how things is actually can placed on our physical health and our nervous system as well as mental health.
Mhm.
So very important. Ideally, the shape will mostly is has integrity, has the wholeness. But if you have a small sectors missing, and that is okay. But roughly, it is a rectangular or square shape. That's the best.
Oh yeah. I was just thinking when you were saying that about how our home and our environment is an extension of
Mm,
us,
mm,
right? So we're
yes.
not just an individual human. Our environment is an extension. It's
Yeah.
part of us also, right? It's not
Mm,
two separate things. And
yes. And
yeah.
this is where the feng shui is, as you feng shui is like an onion, right? The different layers you're peeling. And then when you're starting to understand that, and you will know, okay, this corner, why? When I see the home that is missing, let's say, southwest corner, southwest represents the dominant female, marriage, partnership. Okay. So when that corner is missing, usually the wife is feeling not supported because that part of the corner or the sector representing her is missing. She usually she's kind of on a journey of finding herself. And sometimes the marriage is also in having going through challenging times. And I have also seen quite a few house that is missing northwest sector, and that is particularly difficult for a single lady who is looking for partner because
Okay.
northwest represents the dominant male of the house. So when that corner is missing, this house is really having difficulty of drawing in a male partner for that female occupants inside of the house.
That
So
is,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And when you're looking at the feng shui of the house, it's pretty much, I always find, oh wow, it's pretty much matching what the issue the occupants is having. So sometimes I say this before they even tell me what they have been experiencing, and they say, Grace, how do you know that? And I say the house is already communicated with me through that way.
Wow. Wow, the house is communicating. That's amazing. And all the knowledge that you can grab from all the intuitive knowledge, right?
Mm.
Also.
Oh, so much layers of that. Through this process of alignment is actually to starting to see what are the messages your home is delivered to you, right? That this is where the spiritual lesson comes through. This is through you see what other people don't see. And this is entirely what we talked about in period 9. It's not all about physical. It's about these unseen things that you notice. You connect with your home speaking to you. So I always see my home as a living and breathing being.
I hope you're leaving this episode feeling inspired to take a closer look at the energy of your own home and in your own heart. Remember, feng shui isn't about rearranging your furniture for the sake of it or painting your house blue. It's about creating an environment that supports the most authentic, abundant, and radiant version of you. It's about aligning your space so you can embody your higher self and live in the frequency of love every single day. And as we step into this new age, Earth's frequency is rising and we're being called to rise with it. Grace's wisdom today reminds us that when we start interacting with our space consciously, Each small act becomes an energetic seed that can transform our entire lives. So let me leave you with this. What kind of energy are you inviting into your life? And is your home truly aligned to support the version of you that you're becoming? And remember, you are the creator of your own destiny. Trust your intuition, stay open to possibilities, and know that your light has the power to uplift not just your home, but the entire world. Thank you so much for joining us today, my loves. If you found this episode helpful, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who needs this wisdom. Until next time, keep shining and living in the frequency of love, sending you so much love and light. Thank you for joining me on this episode of the DulceCandy podcast. If you enjoyed our conversation, please take a moment to rate and review the show on your favorite podcast platform. It truly helps us reach more listeners like you. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Connect with me on social media for behind-the-scenes content and updates. Until next time, stay inspired and have a blessed and beautiful day.